Hello ladies and gents, thanks for clicking to watch this video. Let us talk about what is happening in Congo right now. It is absolutely melancholic and unfortunate to notice that some Congolese people are starting to show signs of Stockholm syndrome. Because what are the signs of Stockholm syndrome? Stockholm syndrome is characterized by the creation of a bond of attachment, positive empathy, reciprocal understanding, or even love between the victim and his attacker or oppressor, which develops unconsciously and involuntarily. Congolese people, just before the end of the year 2018, were almost living in conditions we can consider being synonymous to being held hostage in your own country, deprived of freedom of expression of any way or form, imposed with insecurity on the east side of the country, trapped with the suffocating education system, forced to live in staggering poverty, systemically fabricated by those who were supposed to end or reduce it, unemployment rates continuously going through the roof to levels that Congo had never experienced since its existence. And as a result, Congo had a very elevated number of street kids whose parents could not afford educating them, young adults who, by the hardship of life, had to join prostitution or banditism. And to be brief, let's just say it will be a misrepresentation of the problem, or even minimizing the problem, if I say the few problems that I have enumerated describe all the problems Congolese were going through. Therefore, the list of these chronic problems goes on, and problems which were provoked, if not created, by the leadership in place at the time. In other words, it will be appropriate to state that the new leadership that took office in 2019 took over the leadership of a country that was in a coma, awaiting a real specialist with not only the required expertise, but also a fervent desire to come up and put in place saving mechanism to treat patient Congo out of the coma he was in. You know, when a child is hungry, they do not care whether you are preparing for them or maybe letting their food cool down first so that they do not get burnt. And they will never understand that. All they want is to put food in their mouth. So, Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, the fifth and current president of Congo, took office on the 24th of February 2019. And 3 years later today, unfortunately, Felix Tshisekedi finds himself in a position of this very caring mother who is diligently preparing food for her child, but the child cannot stay calm because he or she is very, very hungry. You see, Congolese people, just like this hungry child, were facing serious problems in all sectors of their lives. And so, when they went to the polls in the 2018 general elections, they voted for change because they were determined to put a rupture to the reign of the previous mediocre leadership that put them in the miserable conditions they were in.
Therefore, because the problems were so profound and the expectations too high, it appears to some Congolese that the current president has not delivered on his promises. But even worse is that due to Felix Tshisekedi's detractors' manipulation tactics, and unfortunately the masses of uneducated citizens, some Congolese are tricked to think that the current president has done completely nothing in his politically tumultuous first 3 years of his ruling. Now, before I continue, let me promise that I will come back to present on Congo TV a compilation of some of the biggest and most impactful accomplishments of Felix Tshisekedi. Let us continue. As if that was not worse enough, worst of the worst now is that cadres and supporters of the former leadership are actively campaigning with a manipulative message that the former president or leadership, who lamentably failed their mission, should come back because, according to them, the current leadership has failed, while clearly the current president has accomplished, in 3 years more than they did in their 18 years of leadership. How ironic is that? And you will agree with me after I diffuse the accomplishments of the current leadership in just 3 years compared to 18 years of their leadership. It is very disturbing because some people were expecting Felix Tshisekedi to change Congo in a form of from hell to paradise in a blink of an eye, as if he was using a magic stick. I mean, it is comprehensible for the population to have these expectations because nobody ever desires to stay in pain or suffering for very long. However, it is inadmissible and even dishonest to see the people of the former leadership requesting Felix Tshisekedi to accomplish in 3 years, just 3 years, things they were incapable of accomplishing in 18 years of their leadership. So, with the lack of understanding of many Congolese about the genesis of their misery, which leads to many Congolese succumbing to the manipulation of these imposters, some people are blindly or ignorantly claiming to wanting to go back to the former leadership, like the Israelites expressed their desire to go back to Egypt because they had a sea in front of them that needed crossed and Egyptians behind them coming for them. Now, with Felix Tshisekedi as Congo's Moses, who through God's might is trying to liberate them, cross with them the sea so that they finally can enter into the promised land, many Congolese are tricked into starting to consider that their old misery, like the slavery of the Israelites, is better than enduring the obstacles in front of them. This nostalgia is dangerous, which forces us to wonder whether this is a symptom of Stockholm syndrome. You see, Israelites forgot that even though they had not yet reached the promised land, Moses had previously done many things which allowed them to be even free and find themselves at that sea heading to the promised land. Unfortunately, some Congolese people are finding themselves repeating the same mistakes the Israelites committed, consciously or unconsciously. Therefore, I wonder if they have developed or are developing Stockholm syndrome. Let me rest my case. I will come back though with Felix Tshisekedi's accomplishments very soon. May God be with us, may God protect us, and we are still together. Hi, Vital Chibunga Katende here. Thanks for watching that video. I would like to invite you to please subscribe to Congo TV for support and so you do not miss any interesting, enjoyable and educative content to come. Now, Ombam subscribe, abonnez-vous s'il vous plaît. Lastly, please do me a favor by liking and following the Congo TV page on other social media platforms like Facebook, TikTok and Instagram at Congo TV.